If I was to ask you, what is the opposite of stress? I suspect you'll be thinking along the lines of peace or calm. Fair answer. I used to think the same myself. But peace or calm don't represent the opposite of stress. They represent the absence of stress. Physiologically, the opposite of stress is kindness. But let me reword that, because I know you're thinking stress is a feeling, kindness is a thing that you do. How can they be opposites? So let me rephrase that. The opposite of the experience of stress, what that's like, is an experience of kindness and what that's like. And if you look at many of the physiological effects of stress, you'll find that the physiological effects of kindness tend to go in the opposite direction. Let me share a few examples with you. So stress tends to increase blood pressure. Kindness, on the other hand, tends to reduce blood pressure. Stress tends to suppress immune function. Kindness, on the other hand, tends to support immune function. Stress sort of feels bad and icky. Kindness generally feels pretty nice. Stress in the long term tends to have a damaging impact on our mental health. Kindness, on the other hand, in the long term tends to support our mental health. So here's today's exercise. What I'd first like you to do is just notice what experiences of stress and kindness feel like. That's assuming that you have each of those experiences. You might not. If you don't have an experience of stress or kindness, it doesn't matter. But if you do have an experience of stress today, just notice what it feels like, mentally, emotionally, but particularly in your body. Whether you feel tense or does your heart rate increase, whatever. And then if you have an experience of kindness, just notice what that's like. Again, mentally, emotionally, but particularly in your body. How does your body feel? Is it relaxed? Do you find yourself smiling? Is there sensations in your body? Really, just because I'd like you to just compare for yourself. Notice the difference in how they feel, mentally, emotionally, and on your body, stress versus kindness. Now, the second thing I'd like you to do today, if the situation arises, if you find yourself in a stressful situation or having a stress experience, see if you can diffuse it with kindness. Now, it might be just something you're able to think, or it might be something you're able to say, or it might even be something you do, or even depending on the situation, again, it all depends on the situation, you might be able to do a kindfulness meditation practice. So just have a go and see how you go, and see if you can neutralize stress with kindness. And if you don't mind, I'll share even a wee example. A few years ago, a friend told me that she'd pulled out in front of another driver on the road. It was just purely accidental, but the driver was really furious and honked a horn and drove past her and mouthed some swear words in her direction. Anyway, a couple of minutes later, 5 minutes later or so, she found herself at a toll, a motorway, a bridge toll, and she found herself just in front of him. And she saw it in a rear view mirror, and instead of going, oh, that's that really angry, horrible, nasty person, instead she paid his toll for him. Anyway, about 30 seconds later, the guy who previously she thought as Mr. Angry drove up beside her, peeped the horn, looked across and mouthed the words, "Thank you," in her direction. And she'd completely changed how she felt, but also impacted upon him as well. Anyway, just thought I'd leave you with that wee story. So have a wee go today, stress versus kindness, and see how you go on.